Today's question on Ask Becky comes from Michaela. I can't trust men. I'm sure there's quite a few of you agreeing with her right at this point. So I'm 34 and have no trust in men. At the age of 16, I found out that my dad was, in fact, my stepfather. As a result, for many years, I felt empty, lonely, and always on the outside looking in. I have had several relationships with men, but they all finished the same way. I have a lovely boyfriend, but I constantly need a confirmation that he loves me and isn't going off with other women. How do I stop this happening again? Well, that doesn't sound much fun to be with, Michaela. You know, we give everybody, there's something called love languages, and whatever your love language is, we give to others in our love language. And this neediness is built off insecurity. And the thing is about neediness is nobody else can fulfill that neediness for you. So you're asking externally to your boyfriend for him to make you feel more secure. But from what you're saying, if that was possible, then whatever he was saying would work. But the fact that you're having to keep asking him and asking him and asking him, doesn't that show you that whatever he says and does isn't actually changing how you feel? Because that insecurity is how you feel about yourself. And you've got a good level of self-awareness, and that you've identified that, finding out at 16 that your dad was your stepfather, and you haven't actually stipulated whether or not you do know who your father is, has made you really lose trust. But was that trust lost in the men, or was that, that's a huge thing to find out that who you thought you were isn't. And that does change sometimes how safe somebody feels in their identity. And at 34 as a woman, you'll just be starting to get real self-confidence, which could also be in conflict with the fact that you might not feel secure in who you are. I hope that makes sense for you. So what you've got to do is start to fill that void yourself and deal with that insecurity, and let your boyfriend help you and support you with that, rather than give him the entire job to try and make you feel secure. Nobody else can make us feel secure when we feel more secure in ourselves. Otherwise, you get that roller coaster effect, which many people have, where they have these ups and downs. So when somebody is feeding you security, you feel better. And when somebody withdraws slightly, be it that they've got their own issues or something going on at work, then instantly you feel the loss of that security. It would be a bit like giving someone else the responsibility of feeding us as an adult. When they stop feeding us, we get hungry. And when they start feeding us, we feel satisfied. So you've got to take the spoon yourself. And, that's how you get rid of that roller coaster ride. And it is, it's a step by step, but just start to look at some examples of where men have supported you and you have been able to trust you. The brain has a weird way of looking at things. I don't know if you've ever sort of gone to buy liked a handbag or a pair of shoes or a certain car, and all of a sudden your mind spots it everywhere. And you think, wow, I didn't know so many of these handbags or cars or shoes existed. The fact is they were always there. It's just your mind didn't know that you needed to know that. So where you drive the mind really determines what you see in life. So start to remind yourself of men around you that are trustworthy and are good men. Of course, nobody is perfect, and if you put someone up on a pedestal, that isn't fair to them either. So start to really have a look around for some role models of men that are trustworthy, and see how you go.